Hey everyone, welcome back to the Engineered Angler. Today I'm going to make a saltwater popper, but as usual I have a specific kind of popper I have in mind for a specific kind of fishing. If you want to check it out, stick around. I don't really fish with saltwater poppers very often, and that's because I find that I really can't draw the fish in. Out on the flats, they don't seem to really react to just the popping sound. I really think that a rattle ball in a lure really makes all the difference on topwater. I've made some pencil type poppers, and these are really long casting lures, and with a little bit of planning you can put a pretty nice rattle ball in it. But I'm not getting the splash I want. I want something that's really going to give me the big pop of a popper and the big bang of a lure with a knocker ball in it. Plus, I want that blunt end bullet shape for those long casts. My plan is to take it to the beach, get it out beyond the breakers, and get the fish to come after it. Let me show you what it's going to look like. So here's a really simplistic drawing of what I expect it to look like. I'm going to make it on the lathe. It's a little quicker for me, and the lathe will give me that bullet shape to give me that long cast. Plus, it'll allow me to put a nice centered knocker in there real easy. So you see the bullet shape? The sort of a reduced popper, but still a pretty good size popper. This total size is going to be 4 inches. So it's not going to present a really big profile. It won't sort of spook off some of the medium-sized fish that I'm probably going to catch. And it's going to have the maximum thickness of about 3/4 of an inch, which is 1.9 centimeters. So it's really like a 10 centimeter lure with sort of the mass of a 12 to 14 centimeter lure. The ball is going to be a steel 1/4 inch ball. I'm going to have an oversized channel in here, and I'm going to make it not only larger in diameter so it really rolls in there freely, but I'm going to make it as long as the body will allow so that the ball also acts like a weight shift. So as I fling it, that ball will swing to the back and weight that tail so it flies like a bullet. To cap the back end of the lure, I'm going to use this 7/16 dowel, and I'll just have it in there, and then it'll get shaped on the lathe along with the rest of the wood. The hook hangers will go in positioned like this. And there'll be screw in. I'll make them myself, so the screw will go through the lure, through the dowel, and out through the top of the lure. The belly hook eye will be inserted and angled forward, and then the tie-on eye will just come straight back. So I've already taken a chunk of cypress, and I've drilled the hole, and I just used some tape on the drill bits to be sure I didn't go over depth. So before I can actually take this out to the shop and put it on the lathe, I need to get the rattle ball in it. But there's one more trick I always do to get that really crisp, bright sound out of it. I take a nail head and I leave a little bit of a tag on it so I can drive that nail head into the end of the dowel and into the very bottom of that rattle chamber. So I just take a pair of cutters like this and cut it into a rag so it doesn't go flying on me. I got a nice sound enhancer for the rattle chamber. And now I'll take a rod and a piece of a magnet so it'll hold on to that nail head, and I'll just sink this down into the chamber, knock it into place. Drop that rattle ball in there. Now I need to install the one on the end of the dowel. So I put a little pilot hole in there, and now I'm just gonna hold it there and drive it home. And that should do it. I've got this dowel marked on the depth, and I can insert it in here right up to that line, and then we can start shaping it. But first I'm going to put glue on this, glue on the inside one, and drop the ball in there. So I've inserted the end of my dowel in there, and I've got it glued in, and the rattle is in there. Even through all this wood you can hear it. So I'm going to be shaping it to look like that, and I'll show you how I make sure that I don't lose my dimensions. All right, so just to be sure that I don't lose the critical points that I need, which are the ends and maybe where this contour begins. I'm going to go ahead and put some masking tape right here. I'll set this up, and as a backup, I'm going to mark the rail down here at the bottom so I don't lose the location of where this thing goes. I'll just give myself something to guide me just a little bit. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is actually cypress, and it came from a piece of wood that I took from a tree that got damaged in one of the hurricanes a few years ago, and I actually got quite a bit of wood, and I put it up in my wood lot. And you can see them all up there. So it's relatively soft wood. It's low density, so it floats really well. But you can see it doesn't really turn super clean, but when you sand it, it really does give you a nice finish at the end. That's pretty smooth right there. I really like using these sponges because you can kind of form it to the roundness, the inside concave stuff. So now I'm pretty comfortable with the shape. Let's see how close I am to 3/4. It's still a little big, but I think I'm gonna live with that. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and drill this out. Alright, now I'm going to cut the shape of that front of the lure. All right, just a little more grinding and I think we'll have a nice shape. All right, so I'm pretty happy with the profile. It looks real nice from the top, the side, and the bottom. It's a little, still really rough on the inside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this JB Weld 2-part epoxy putty and I'll mix just enough to sort of fill in the bad spots in there, and then I can sand it out really easily. So here's a little pro tip. It's a lot easier to handle it if you have a little bit of alcohol around. And what I'm going to do is saturate the wood in here with some alcohol. Just get it in there. And then what that does is it draws the epoxy down into the pores with the alcohol. And then with a little bit of alcohol on my finger, I can smear it out and it becomes almost perfectly smooth. And I won't need much sanding at all. And now I want to mark where I want the eyes, and I want the eyes way up here. And I'll put the first one in. I'll use that as my marker for the other one. Okay, let's make some screw-in eyes. Welcome to the monsoon season here in North Florida. Well, I got the hook eyes glued in and the toe and eye. I've got it more or less finish sanded, and I'm going to go ahead and spray it with some mid coat, the polyacrylic, and I'm going to put the first coat of clear coat to give it a nice smooth surface, and then we'll see what kind of paint job we come up with. Alright, I got the first coat of UV clear on there, and it should be done. Alright, that looks pretty good. Right, so I've been thinking about what kind of paint job I want to put on this, and I was thinking about the way the water sort of reflects on a fish near the surface, and the way it makes those ripply sort of, I don't know, those kind of, I guess, wave reflections that you see like on the side of a pool. I want to try to reproduce that. I'm not really worried about having it look like a pattern on a real fish. I just want to have that pattern of reflective light. So I'm going to use this flexible plastic that I just took off an old notebook, and I'm going to draw just some sort of squiggly shapes, just kind of random, and then I'm just going to cut these out with a razor blade, and we'll see how that's going to look. Alright, well, there's one little piece. Alright, there you go. Let's give this a shot. As a base coat, I'm going to use the silver. This is Createx Wicked Aluminum. Here's my template, and my idea is that I'll hit it with a color and then move the template over just a little bit, hit it with another color, maybe move it back and hit it with another color, and hopefully we'll get that weird muddled effect that you get from things that are being reflected by the water itself. I'm going to start with this transparent orange, and hopefully it'll give me a deep gold. All right. So usually a paint job this heavy, I'll leave overnight to dry, but I'm gonna supercharge the heating process or the drying process with some heat. You can see this thing has a really nice color shift there at the belly from orange to silver to gold there. It looks really cool. So now I'm gonna put some polyacrylic, and then we'll put the eyes on and put the final clear coat on it. This thing's coming fishing with me tomorrow. First thing in the morning, driving to the beach. What do you think? Silver for the eye or gold? What do you think? I kind of like the silver. Alright, I got this place wrecked out. It's nighttime already, so I need to get this done. I'm going to go ahead and put a nice heavy clear coat on it. We'll put it in the chamber, and in the morning, hopefully early, we'll head out to the beach. See you in the morning. All right, here it is. I got it out of the chamber this morning, and it was almost disastrous because I got up early. Good thing, because when I pulled it out of the chamber, it had fallen and gotten kind of messed up. So I was able to clean it up, give it another coat, and get it to set before I came out here. So it's a really dreary day. The tide's just ripping out. The breeze is offshore, so that's a good thing. And I've got an inlet just about 200 or 300 yards south of me, so that's where we're heading. So this is the Matanzas Inlet. It's a really kind of a shallow inlet. Truth be told, I've never fished here. This is where I come to surf, but it looks good. We'll see. All right, let's cast right from here. Not great. Ooh, something hit it. Can't believe something hit it right there. There's a little baby turtle. Hey, get away from there. I'm getting a pretty long cast. Little turtles everywhere. There's another one right there just cruising. Here's a little turtle. He saw me, freaked out. Alright, well, I've been here like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and nothing really happening. Tide's going out pretty fast, so I won't be able to keep up with it. So let's move. Well, here's another spot. I'm thinking about getting right out there on the other side of that little jetty and giving it a shot from there. Let's see. Let's play. These are pretty nice conditions right here. I got the wind at my back, very light swell coming in. Nice long cast. Well, I'm done, but I gotta say, if I'm gonna get skunked, this is my favorite way to do it. Brand new lure, great spot, nice weather, more or less, but I'm done for today. There's a little more sketchy weather coming in, and it's time to go. So thank you very much for watching. If you like these kind of videos, subscribe, and if you want to see more or different types, let me know. Put something in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. It really does make a difference. And I'll see you on the next video.